Yeah, let's give it over to Frank for the news, for the patch notes.
The patch notes this week. So, guys, our first article this week comes from gamesindustry.biz. Shocker. I like using them a lot. I think they're a really cool publication. So on that, let me see here. Sorry, I'm pulling this up here. Sony this week announced that they are... Ghost of Tsushima to receive a film adaptation by Jeffrey Rousseau. I think that's how you say his name. So Sony this week announced that they are producing a Ghost of Tsushima live-action movie. The movie will be directed by Chad Stahelski, who also directed a favorite of ours here, John Wick. Sony will also be partnering with Sucker Punch, and they will be attached to the film as executive producers. No casting has been done yet, but it's pretty obvious of who we all want to play these characters, huh? What do we think? What do you think about this film? Do we think it's going to be like a hit? Do we think Sony's going to actually release this film? Like, seeing how Uncharted's being treated right now?
I hope so. I hope it's good. I hope it does well. I feel like of any IP, this is going to be one that's going to translate really well for film. And, obviously we don't wish any projects do poorly, but I think this one has a shot at being real good.
I agree. The reason I agree with you for this one specifically is because it isn't more of an open world game, so you can do a little bit more with this. Like when you look at like Uncharted and stuff, or like Last of Us, I feel like you can't deviate from that story because that is for all intents and purposes, that is a linear story. But with Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like you can pick and choose what story you want to tell and where the character goes and stuff like that, right? For people that are going to be casting, I hope they can find the right people for casting. I know a lot of people are saying pick the people that did the voice acting and stuff for it, which is like, yeah, that'd be awesome. But do they do full on acting though, right? Like as in like acting roles and stuff like that for camera, or are they just more voice actors? But like I do want them
they are actual actors.
They are actual actors? Yeah. So that would be awesome.
Because they had to mocap, they have facial capture for it, they mocapped it, and then they voiced it. So I would imagine it would translate very much on the screen as they did with producing it in for the game.
Yeah. So I hope they nail the casting. I think they'll be fine. Movies going into film is always kind of a weird thing for me, because it's like especially for like Last of Us, I've experienced the game. I don't know if I want to experience it through a movie. But again, they have really good talent attached to it. So it's like,
Yeah.
What do you think, Mario?
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation. I think at the forefront, the only way to do this, in my opinion, is to try to keep it as authentic to what they're trying to portray, as much as obviously the game itself is sort of both authentic and inauthentic, meaning that there's different biomes in Tsushima that's not true to the actual region, but at the same time, it's telling their story. So hopefully, it's just as good. I mean, the I don't know. The island of Tsushima loves the devs so much that I think they've given them some crazy accolades over there.
They said that
ambassadors, right?
Yeah. I think one of the quotes was like, when that game came out, a lot of them said like that this is a game that we should have made.
Yes.
Like, they were kind of like, this is so good that it should have been us who made this. And that says a lot about all the care and attention that was put into that game.
And as someone who personally doesn't love the game entirely, I enjoy the game. I don't love it because I think some of the story beats are a little weak. I'm hoping that they do obviously take this chance to improve upon that. But at the same time, I do think that the actors themselves do phenomenal jobs. And there are moments in that game that move me even to tears. There's a side story in there that blows me away. And I'm wondering if they'll even give time to that in the movie specifically. But I can absolutely see it because it's probably one of their more cinematic games. I mean, Last of Us, obviously, and God of War, but I can see what this movie would look like on screen. So I'm giving it, some hope again, hopefully. And if it's not the original cast, fantastic, Japanese actors. keep it as something.
Fee, have you played this game?
I have not. I think I watched you play it though.
Oh yeah, you watched the ending. I remember that.
I sure did because you put it to a vote. And
then some people picked the wrong way. So would you rather have this than or would you rather have the game? Like, would you rather play through the game, or do you just be like, you know what, give me the movie so I can see like what the entire game is?
Honestly, I think I would probably go with the movie. However, I quite enjoyed watching other people play this game on Twitch. And as long as they do the movie well, which quite honestly, track record wise, if it's going like game wise when it comes to movies and like film, it's been doing pretty decently recently because we have like The Witcher that did really great and they really kept true to it. And as long as they don't give it the freaking Ghost in the Shell like treatment, then I'm fine. I see this, but then the Resident Evil and the Monster Hunter movie came out, but we don't talk about those things. So we just push those aside. But yeah, it definitely would be hard, but I think that if they put the right casting and the right crew and the people who like really genuinely want to see this to succeed and do it the proper way, then I would be more than happy to watch this as a film. Because that's my thoughts on it, at least. Just because in cases like this, especially if it's done in Hollywood, I'm specifically concerned. However, if they have the right, like I said, if they have the right crew, then I'm all down to watch this. And if they cast the correct people, if they cast the voice actors, absolutely fantastic. That's a great choice. If they decide to go with someone else that fits the role correctly, then I'm more than happy to watch it.
Yeah. It's a big task for people to play the game because it is an open world game. So you're putting in like 65 hours into this world. Exactly. And where you could just make like a maybe 3-hour movie, or not even 3 hour. Okay, well, I'm thinking more Bollywood at this point, like a 2-hour movie or something like that, right?
Yeah,
that you could get kind of like I guess a TV show maybe would be better, but
I would rather have it as a TV show. I'd rather have this as a TV show, like 100%.
Sly, you were saying you're gonna say something?
I just want to see Ghost of Tsushima Bollywood style. Now I'm intrigued.
Or just give me a Ghost of Tsushima like Kurosawa.
Kurosawa.
That's the one. Sorry.
Yeah,
like, make it that kind of movie. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I probably would be in black and white.
I was gonna say I don't want this to be a Hollywood production. Personally, I would rather it be like a John Woo, like Red Cliff or Hero or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon production versus anything that we do. But this is it. Like the closest thing to it is like Mulan, and that was received poorly. So I'm hoping.
I mean, I feel like this is gonna be more of a Hollywood thing, anyways. Because look at Uncharted, for example, right? Tom Holland. Well, like some of the actors that are in there, it's and who is it? Mark Wahlberg is in it
as Sully.
as Sully. So I feel like
just
it's gonna be more
breaking
Hollywood
news.
stuff.
Oh no! Breaking news.
Jin Sakai casted as Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson will be playing Jin Sakai.
Bye, guys.
My favorite Asian actor.
My favorite Asian actor, Scarlett Johansson.
The funny thing is, when I played Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't even play it on English. I played that entire thing in Japanese because I think that that's how I feel like I wanted to experience that game. So, but people have said that the English voice acting is really, really good.
Yeah, it is. It's top notch.
Yeah.
All right,
on to the next.
Our next article comes from IGN. Reggie Fils-Aimé quits GameStop board of directors after just 1 year, by Matt Perslow. So, in a shocking development to the GameStop bankruptcy arc, Reggie Fils-Aimé has left the building. It seems that GameStop is recycling its board of directors with its current 8, including Reggie, to be out by the end of 2021, with a brand new set of board of directors to replace them. Pretty sure at this point, Reggie was just Reggie for retirement anyway.
Terrible joke.
Terrible joke.
You love it.
I think Reggie Fils-Aimé just said, I don't want to deal with this bullshit anymore.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like the way. So if it was just Reggie, I would say yeah, that's probably 300% true. But it's also all the other board of directors leaving as well, and it seems like they're all going to be replaced with just brand new people altogether. So I'm wondering if it was maybe on Reggie's side, maybe Reggie was just like, I'm out of here, and then everybody else jump shipped, or maybe GameStop said, yeah, we're just going to replace all of you guys by. You guys are too expensive to employ.
I wonder if it obviously have anything to do with the fact of the fiasco that happened earlier this year with the stock exchange crap, but you know, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, personally, I didn't want him there anyways. I think he's better used anywhere else. If anything, I would love for him to be the face of Sony, because right now Sony is separated into like 4 other people, and they're all uninteresting. You know, you got Mark Cerny, who is just Dana Carvey, but he's barely on screen. You got all these other people. There's no face over there. You have a Phil Spencer. You have a Doug Bowser, who we haven't really seen a lot of Doug Bowser, but still, because Reggie used to be that spot. I would love for him to be the face of Sony.
Oh yeah, he would be excellent for Sony.
Yeah.
I think he would bring a lot of life to that brand, where it feels like Sony right now is that very stern, like they don't. It doesn't feel like they're having fun as they used to, where they used to like just come out with an orchestra.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Here's my favorite quote from Reggie. He said, "My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names, and I'm about making games." So
hell yeah,
let's go.
Pretty good.
Sony hire Reggie right now.
Hire this man. I also do think when it comes to like these boards of directors and stuff, there are companies that just do a clean slate as well for board of directors. Like, you know what, we just want to start fresh with new people, like completely. So like that might be the case here as well. I know GameStop's been doing some weird things that have been happening with GameSpot recently, but all right, Slide, do you think GameSpot's going to be there in the next like year or two, or at least the next 5 years, even with this change?
I hope so. I hope that GameStop right now, they're clearing house. You know, they're getting out everybody that they don't want there, clean out the bad apples, and be like, okay, we're not doing too hot. There's a lot of shit going on. We're getting a lot of bad press. What can we do to reinvigorate the brand? And maybe game doesn't have to be like the traditional like brick and mortar store that it is. Like I'm not gonna give them any free marketing, but I think there's definitely directions they can go from here to, you know, preserve that brand just in a different format.
Yeah, they could pivot somehow, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I actually have some insider information on this. So me and Mario know the managers at our local GameStop. They tell us basically everything. So at least in the beginning of the year, from what I could tell, the biggest problem with what was going on was GameStop was already trying to rebrand itself before COVID. It was starting to become less of like a brick and mortar and more of like a hub for people to come and hang out. They were starting to open up stores that were these like tournament centers. They were kind of like LAN party centers where they would have couch gaming that you can just come play video games. They would have computers that you would be able to use. And this place would have stuff for like tournaments and stuff like that. And then COVID happened. So obviously you can't really use these new GameStops that you just built, because guess what? You can't be within 6 feet of people, and all these things are within like eye distance, right next to each other. So you can't use these stores. So they just spent all that money for nothing to not have anybody come in and use this stuff. And then to top it off, with COVID on top of that, they've just not been able to get anything in stock. Like, every time I'm inside that GameStop, someone comes in and asks for something like a Switch controller or Joy-Cons or a PS5 controller or a PS5, anything. They'll ask for a lot of these things, and a lot of the times they'll say, yeah, it's not in stock here or within a 90-mile radius of these other GameStops. Yeah. And if you can't sell anything, you're not gonna, there's no profit to be made. And if you can't get these products during COVID, there's no profit to be made.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're just kind of in a catch-22 where like they wanted to build up a reputation to bring more people in by letting them try out these new products, play new video games, all that. That can happen due to COVID. So now they can't bring anybody in, period, because now you can't even get stock on just regular items.
Yeah, and early in the year too, they stopped all trades too, which is another big part of their business, taking in stock and taking in those pre-owned, so that way they can repurpose them and make profit margins off of their the selling. So they had to pull that out as well. Anything once they start doing that again, which happened like late last year, it was still not sold immediately. It ended up going to like the warehouse, and you can only do online sales. So the actual brick and mortars were struggling, and it sucks because the brick and mortars, and I know that we're all going in this all digital age, there's still that subset of people that rely on physical media. The low income housing absolutely relies on stuff like that. Pre-owned games, something that's not at full price, older systems, like these are all things that are still essential to those places. And with everything going on, it's been pretty sucky, and is the best way to describe it. I'm sure there's a more elegant way, but
sorry, I was just gonna say it just sucks I think it sucks for timing when it comes to GameStop. Like with because you said trade-ins and their pre-used stuff, that's where they make a bulk of their money, honestly. Right? People trade their games in for like $20, and then they resell them for like 50.
Yeah,
working at EB Games,
it's the circle of life.
What? Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's oh god,
dude, it really, because like I used to work at EB Games, and that was what they wanted to push as much as possible. So, and it sucks that they're not taking any trading games. People aren't going to their stores anymore because it's the only way you can get used games as well. So, I think it just like this moment just it just sucks for them at this point. And with the whole Reggie thing, I feel like it is what it is with GameStop. They're cleaning house. They're going to see how this goes. And what Sly was saying is, I agree with Sly when it comes to this. I want to see them pivot. We'll see if they can. But
yeah, for sure,
it definitely does suck. Especially like me and Mario have history with the store. I mean, we've both worked there. We've both worked there for a number of years, and it's when we worked there, at least it. I don't know when, like, I can't speak on Mario, but like when I was working there, the mentality was totally different. It was a very much a more greeting people in, talking to them, getting to know your customers, and recommending games, all that. And by the time I left, it switched from, okay, we need to get sales. You know what I mean? Sell this thing on top of this thing on top of this thing. Screw the customer. Just get it done. Get it quick, in and out.
Make sure they get the pro card. Make sure they get the insurance, which is just free money. Because some people will never claim that. It was it. These are business practices, and these is what are some things that they implement for sure. But at the end of the day, I would hate for stores to close.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool friends who work at these stores, and I would hate to see them go from GameStop. But
yeah,
we'll see.
But speaking of stores closing,
got anything do you got anything that's like kind of like a GameStop in Halifax?
We have EB Games. We don't have GameStop.
Harv knows.
Harv's just laughing. I know I live on a peninsula in a magical world in Narnia. I understand that.
I was just gonna say, like, she lives in a pretty decent sized city.
Well, I mean,
like
I don't know who has EB Games.
I will admit, the biggest news coming out of Halifax today was a tugboat being sold and sent to Hamilton, Ontario. That's pretty much the biggest news here. But no, we do.
It's all crazy over there.
Well, it was Theodore Tugboat. Someone bought it. Okay, that's a whole other. You can. Yes.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yes, you can look it up. I'm not we can probably. You know what? We can put that as a fucking photo. I don't give a diddly damn.
Theodore Tugboat is now the thumbnail picture.
At the end of this segment, I'll put Theodore Tugboat at the end, and you can see it. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, but yeah, no, we do have EB Games, and we do have like mom and pop kind of stores, but for the most part, just like everyone else said, it's more on the lines of you go there and then you say like, hey, do you have this game? It says on the website that you had this game, and then they're like, actually, no, we don't, because it hasn't updated yet, but you can go to the store on the other side of the city, and then you're like, okay, cool beans. Like, it's not very helpful. So some of the people that work there are incredibly nice and are phenomenal at their jobs, and others...
Here's a bad story that me and Frank would do all the time. We would reserve games and put fake names under the reserves, and they would have to save it. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I worked at EB, people did that all the time.
Yeah. I gotta reserve this game of Gears of War for Titicaca.
Look, I will preface this. We knew the people there, and they knew it was us every time, because we would make it blatantly obvious it was us, and we worked like right next to them.
Yeah.
So like we would walk in like 5 minutes later and be like, "I got a reserve for Titicaca."
Yeah, I would hate for that store to go down, Frank. I would hate for that store to go away.
There's so much good history there with us. But speaking of history, our next article comes from Eurogamer. Sony's PS3, PSP, and Vita digital stores reportedly closing for good this summer by Matt Wells. So Sony has done the unthinkable. I'm using that sarcastically. It's reported that the legacy PlayStation stores will be closed this summer. The reported dates for this closing are July 2nd for the PSP and PS3 and August 27th for the Vita. What do we think about what are you doing? What are you holding?
I have so many thoughts and feelings. I'm just ignoring Mario. So my biggest problem is, like, I get it, like, people probably aren't using these stores, and it will, like, save them space on, you know, the back end. But from the, like, pure, like, preservation side, the fact that they're closing these down is, like, kind of heartbreaking, because, like, it's a great way to preserve all of these games in a format that, you know, we don't always have access to any other way. And so by closing that down, you lose that sense of preservation. So I know they won't, but I hope they do something to, like, preserve it. Somebody might put it up on, like, a legacy website or something, and that would be great. But yeah, I don't know. It's just sad to see it go.
Do you think it would be a better way of putting it on the PlayStation Store, but just putting it down to, like, a Vita version of it, or a PS2 version of it, a PS3 version of it, just in the store so you could play them on your PS5?
Yeah, just put legacy, like, part of the site, make it, like, a legacy store, so, like, you can't interact with it, you can't buy from it or whatever, but it's just there so people, like, you know these things existed.
Yeah, it just sucks that, like, you know, like, sure, shut down the website, shut all those down, but maybe if the system still had it active, because it's still an active internet-connected device. It's not like the internet just shuts off on it. You can still watch Netflix on these things, so it's just like, it just sucks that, yeah, that will be sort of discontinued. The only way to access these games now going forward, and this is not all games, would just be through their PS Now service, because you could still stream PS3 games. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're missing out on all those PSP classics. You're missing out all those Vita games, which there's not many, I understand. But still, the ones that matter.
You'd be surprised.
Matter.
You'd be surprised, actually,
no,
if you
but
look at the doc.
I meant like actual, like, there's a bunch of indie games on there. But I meant like that flagship, like, oh, I'm going to miss Uncharted, Golden Abyss, you know, or Freedom Wars. Like those ones, as opposed to, like, Guacamelee, which is now on every platform. At the same time, yeah, I will miss some of these things. I personally love the Vita. I got into the PS3 kind of late, and I'm downloading as you just saw. I had the giant PS3. I'm downloading as much of games that I missed out on before this ends. And yeah, say sweet goodbyes.
I was just thinking, like, maybe you could just do emulation on the PS5 for PSP. For Vita,
You'd think?
And then you could actually just put them on the storefront.
I mean,
so you can still buy Vita games, but they'll be scaled for the PS5.
I mean, Xbox has been doing this now for the last 3 generations. They figured it out. PlayStation just is not in the mindset of these preservations. Jim Ryan doesn't understand why we want to play old games. It's because we want to be able to go back and feel these emotions again. And the big thing that I'm most afraid for this, the fact that the PS3 store and the Vita stuff, is all those third-party games that are not going to be licensed again. Like, for instance, your Marvel Ultimate Superhero games or your, Rugrats the video game. Like those things are going to be lost to time.
I don't think they're even on that store anyway.
I'm just saying in general, like if those games specifically, those type of games, they'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like more of a hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
Just to give you guys an idea of what we're losing, though, 393 games for the PlayStation Store, 1,002 Vita games, and 58 PSP games is what's going to be lost through the deletion of the store.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
You're looking at almost 1,500 games right there.
Yeah.
I feel like Sarah McLachlan needs to come in and make a commercial about all these lost games and finding housing.
Give these PlayStation games a home, somebody.
In the arms of an angel.
Hell, I wonder if Sony were to do something like, if people were to like crowdfund the amount of money it costs for them to keep those servers up, and if people would actually like keep those servers up with their own money.
I'm afraid of how much. Think of it. That's only going to cost probably fixed 1 month's worth of service.
I know. It's going to be like one of those Wikipedia things where like we're asking you again to donate to our website.
God, could you just imagine if you could have these games, if you're like a PS Plus user,
and
you get these games on just like a free thing on PS Plus?
Well, like I said,
but
like I said, so PS Now, right? They could keep cycling them out and treat Game Pass, treat it like a Game Pass, which it technically is their Game Pass. Just nobody thinks of it that way. That will be the only place that you'd be able to play these things. But I want to be able to play still some of the Vita games on a large screen because they have the PS TV years ago too. So I don't know.
What are you most sad about this when it comes to this fee? Because did you have a PSP? Did you have Vita?
I had a Vita.
She's like, let it burn.
Let it burn.
I mean,
burn it all down.
No, here's the thing. Like when the PlayStation 3 was prevalent, when the Vita was like super popular, like I enjoyed the Vita when I played it. Like I had games on it. I still do have games. Would I go like, is it my top handheld console that I go back to and play with? No. Like, I have other things I could be playing on. And the games that I specifically would want on the PlayStation 3 is the one I have physical copies for, which would have been, like, Ni no Kuni, which also has, like, you can access it on the PS4. And when that particular console was, like, super, like, in its prime, I was playing World of Warcraft. So a lot of those games I didn't play. Like, they existed. I knew the PlayStation 3 existed. I played it when I went over to friends' houses, but I didn't, like, own one. The first Sony console I owned was the PlayStation 4. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I've been a Sony fan for... No. So I think there's a lot of IPs that it's going to be upsetting to see kind of like that door close, and a lot of people might not have access to it or might not have the physical copy. And I know we come from a community that was obsessed with the Vita, to a point where I literally drew Vita Island. Like, I was the person who made the frickin' poster. Like, I did all that stuff, but it's definitely heartbreaking, but I also understand that they're putting the resources into moving forward rather than looking backwards, which is unfortunate, but it's a move that needs to be made. I'm not going to sit here and say like that's upsetting by any means, because it definitely is, but it's a move that needs to be made in the long run.
Yeah. I would love to see analytics on the Xbox side to see how much backwards compatibility actually gets used.
Oh, for PlayStation?
I guarantee you.
No, for Xbox. Just
for Xbox.
I mean,
because I literally
started playing. Yeah, I literally started playing a bunch of old Xbox games because they're on Game Pass. Like, I can play a ton of 360. I have the Series S. This is the first time I've ever owned an Xbox, and the fact that I can play all those like classic 360 games, all the Xbox One games, all of the new games. They're all there, and that's like such a huge selling point for Xbox.
And the boost that you end up getting on Xbox, right? Because the
60
FPS boost and stuff
HDR.
like that. 4K, yeah, exactly. So it's just like Yeah, I mean, Xbox has just somehow cracked the code when it comes to making this all happen. I really wish that PlayStation took a part of their legacy and actually came together and was like, let's make this happen. Even if it's a service, that I have to pay for, I'm okay with that. I just wish, like, in a way, like, people, give shit to Nintendo for their virtual console style, like the way that it was where you buy individual games versus, and they keep selling you the same game twice, versus what they're doing now, which of course is you pay that subscription service and you get all these NES games that they reveal every month, or well, they used to reveal every month, and then they did SNES. Hopefully one day they'll do N64, and and so on and so on. I think that's an interesting way to preserve it. It's just everything's a subscription service now. Why not just be another one? This is the PlayStation 1 subscription service. It's $5. You get all these games.
I was gonna say twice is an understatement when they make you buy games. Look, I feel like I bought Mario 3 like 7 times already.
Fair enough.
And I still don't own it somehow.
I still can't play Mario 3, and I have no idea how.
Exactly.
But I if I could request anything from Sony, I want you to bring back the PS1 store, please. I got Crash 2
for audio listeners, he has his PlayStation 1 in his hand right now, and he's waving it like a flag.
Yeah, that's
I have Crash 2 in here.
And now Mario is going back and picking out his mini.
Look how tiny it looks compared to this thing, dude.
Listen, it ain't about the size of the boat; it's the motion in the ocean. All right.
It kind of, when you hold it up like that, it kind of looks like the same size, but this is like the old school. This is the old school.
It's like perspective. It's like we're messing with perspective right now.
Ollie.
Oh my god. Okay. All very sad on the Sony front. It is what it is. But on to our next article, and our final article this week comes from Kotaku. This is a report. Microsoft wants to buy Discord for over $10 billion by Luke Plunkett. So, in a move nobody saw the money giant doing, it looks like Microsoft might want to acquire Discord. What they will do with it, who knows? But most likely, if the deal goes through, we might be seeing Discord integrated into the Xbox network ecosystem and maybe Windows. As of March 25th, Microsoft is now in exclusive talks with Discord, and if all the negotiations go well, we could be seeing the completion of a deal as soon as next month.
I got some thoughts.
Okay, Fee, we're gonna go with Fee first because Fee has been shaking her head this entire news.
Yep.
Yeah, I was hearing some things happen. I can't see you guys when I'm reading it, so I was just like trying to see like what's going on down here.
All right, what you got, Fee?
So I don't know if you guys know that Microsoft already has a system that allows people to get in contact with each other. It's called fucking Skype.
It's trash.
And they bought like Skype used to be like pretty popular, and then it was consumed by Microsoft. And where is Skype now? I only know one particular group that uses Skypes. It's dead. I'm gonna be honest. Love you, Sean Capri, if you are listening to the podcast, but Skype is dead. I only have Skype specifically for Sean Capri. That's the only reason why I own that freaking platform. That's the only reason. So I'm very concerned. I feel like Microsoft is, I don't know, like, while everyone else is like floundering during this pandemic, Microsoft has risen above and is just like, we got money, we're gonna buy a bunch of stuff. We bought Bethesda. Now we're gonna be looking at other things. You know what? Discord's pretty popular because we can't buy things like Instagram or TikTok, so let's buy something that everyone uses and we can integrate. Discord looks like a really great idea.
I thought your big rant was actually going to be the fact that they're going to pay more for Discord than they're going to pay for Bethesda titles.
Well, here's the thing. True. There's more people that use Discord than people consume Bethesda products.
I guess.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't think that's
free
a
product. Yeah, for sure.
I also do think it's valued at $10 billion because of COVID.
Yeah.
I think COVID has a huge reason why it's valued at that much.
It's probably because they can't buy Zoom. Zoom's probably like, we're $100 billion at this point. Let's try to buy something next. Oh, there's Discord. Oh, it's for gamers? Let's take Discord.
Harv, you got a point, though. I think you really do. Because it makes sense that it would be a lot more, it would cost a lot more to buy Discord now than it would have been a year ago. Because everybody is most likely using Discord right now.
Yep.
companies are using
You
Discord.
use Discord
We're
for
using
classes.
Discord.
There you go.
Sly's using Discord for classes. Like, everybody uses Discord now.
This podcast is brought to you by Discord.
This podcast is being recorded right now on Discord. I'm looking at a Discord.
And maybe in about a month it'll be presented by Windows. Who knows? Sly, what do you think about all this?
I hate it. I honestly, like, swear to God, I hate the idea of this. Microsoft has so much money and they're just throwing it at other companies to do the work for them, which is great for them, but sucks for whoever they're throwing money at, because, you know, a company's going to get acquired, changes are going to happen, usership is going to plummet, and then it'll turn into Mixer, right? Like, you don't need to buy every company to work with them. You can just have partnerships. Let Discord be an app on your systems. Like, please, for the love of God, stop just buying everything you want to work with. Like, you're allowed to work with other companies that work with other companies. Like, it just really pisses me off that Microsoft whole philosophy right now in regards to working with other software and working with other businesses is, oh, we want a partnership with them, but we want them all to ourselves. I'm just going to buy out the entire company. And it's getting really tired because we've already seen it screw over so many different groups of people. Just work with them. Put the fucking Discord app on your Xboxes, like, you know.
That's where, okay, Mario, I'm gonna let you go in a second here, but one of the big things that I think they should do is, like, yeah, I agree with you guys. Don't get partnerships, especially for, like, if Discord can make a partnership with Xbox or with Microsoft and PlayStation, that would be huge. Because one, the Xbox Live Party shit is terrible. Two, the PlayStation party stuff, I hate it so much. I can't stand that stuff. But, like, having it all cross play in a way with all of the systems would be so good. So I'm afraid that if Microsoft buys it, that they're going to keep it exclusive on their platforms and not put it on, like, a PlayStation thing or something.
I'm gonna disagree with you. Microsoft is the one place, as of right now, at least the latest regime of Microsoft, that has been the most open about working with people, has been working with Nintendo on specific things, specifically releasing Microsoft games on those platforms. It's the only other game that right now that they've kind of released, obviously, has been Minecraft, and Cuphead is on PlayStation. I think, yes, Discord as a company right now might not have the resources to be able to be put it on those platforms and for it to be successful. So maybe that's why the equity from actually Microsoft could actually put that through. My other take, that the reason why I wanted to bring up, though, was right now we have this system where it's called Discord Nitro.
Yeah.
What if, and I'm stealing this idea from Zombie Kills, I think they made this observation on Twitter, but what if instead of that, it's part of your Xbox Live subscription that boosts all of your assets of, everything with Discord. Now, I think that, to me, is an awesome little additional feature that potentially we could gain from this. But at the same time, as you brought up, Beard, Skype and Xbox and PlayStation, their systems suck ass. They suck so bad. So to have the integration part of possibly a better voice chat, but also having access to the camera stuff, which I think would be kind of fun, especially if it was something that could be overlaid over games in some aspect. They never do this. This has always been my speculation that they would. They never implemented it perfectly. Maybe this is a way.
Yeah, I do. Damn it, Mario. I was waiting for the opportunity to say all. I was going to say, wouldn't it be crazy if with all this integration, we would get, like, Discord Nitro, you get a free boost every month through Xbox Live Game Pass. Microsoft is a big media giant. You know what I mean? They have servers, they have all these things that Discord could use. I doubt Discord right now in its current landscape has the same cloud servers or anything like that as big as Microsoft. I feel like we will see a jump in quality all across the board in terms of Discord if Microsoft were to require it.
Before the show, right? We had that issue of the cameras were looking great. That's exactly what you're saying right there.
Yeah, like more servers across the world would be great. Xbox Live integration would be amazing. Being able to do what we're doing here on maybe Xbox itself and not having to have a separate computer or something like that, just with your friends or something like that, would be amazing to do. Especially if you just integrate this with PC, because then you can talk with your Xbox Live friends on PC with Xbox or something. There's plenty of different ways Microsoft can make this a good thing, but I do agree with Sly that if they leave Discord alone and make it more of a partnership than a dictatorship. Because if you do what you did with Mixer, nobody's going to trust you. Nobody's going to trust you. Because Discord, I mean, Mixer was one thing, but Discord is kind of sacred at this point. Everybody loves Discord. So if you fuck up Discord, you're pissing off a lot of people.
Platforms just don't die, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that Mixer died is like a red flag to me. And like you look at it's almost the same thing as if Google bought Discord, for example, too, because it's the same thing. It's the same kind of shit. I like the overlay, like you guys were talking about the overlay stuff, and you guys were talking about that. Like that is one of the coolest features that Discord has. Is like you can have an overlay on top of your game to see who's in chat, who's muted, who's talking, and having that on top of games on your PlayStation and Xbox would be awesome. That would be amazing. And having the feature of everybody talking to each other, doesn't matter what platform you're on. The one thing about what you said, Mario, about them playing together with a lot of people, I am still not on board with that statement still, because Cuphead and Ori are not first-party studios; they are second-party studios. They don't own Studio MDHR. They funded them. They don't own them. And Moon Studios, I'm pretty sure they don't own Moon Studios either. I think they just funded Ori. So that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know where Starfield is going to go. Like, I think once Bethesda starts releasing games, I think we're going to see more of what direction Xbox is going with that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fee, do you have any thoughts on this? You took off your glasses. Did you take off your glasses? Am I going crazy?
No, she took off her glasses.
Can you see clearly now? Is the rain gone?
No. We're not going to talk about my glasses. Mostly because, like,
You
quick segue.
Fucking broke them.
Wait,
oh no! Is this because of Microsoft buying Discord?
No, it just like to show, like, for audio listeners, I currently have one of the like pieces of my glasses in one hand and the rest of my glasses in the other, because the bolt holding these two together apparently has disappeared. So here we are. I'm currently almost like, I can't see very well right now, so we'll just go from there. Okay. It's been like, I'm interested to see how it goes, and I apologize for the quick pause there, just because I needed to like process everything. It's Microsoft has been doing well, and right now what we need to do is we really need to focus on what they do with ZeniMax, what they do with those particular games, and then move on from there. If they've learned from their mistakes rather than other companies where they purchase them and then instantly decide to close that portion, which I'm not going to talk about because that's February irritations with a specific company, cough cough, Google. I'm interested to see how it goes, and if they're able to like, hey, we're going to purchase this, but then we'll allow other consoles to use it, but we're just going to be the ones powering it, because a lot of what they've been talking about when it comes to Bethesda and things like that is they are looking to find ways to improve not only the new games that are coming out, but some of the older games like 76, because they were in talks with and by them, I mean Bethesda was in talks with Microsoft when everything went down with 76. And if we see that with Discord, where we get those improvements, and if I can pay, like, if they say, like, hey, for an extra $5 a month, you get, like, Nitro and all that other stuff, sign me up. Like, if it's things like that, like those small integrations and small like things like that, I'm more than happy to see it. I'm going to stay optimistic, but I'm still a little bit irritated because we have seen things like Mixer and Skype go away to the dodo. So,
alrighty then. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but given our current situation, but we are adding a new section to the patch notes this week for when it comes up, and that is Fee's Stadia Corner. At this corner, there is a desk, a pen, and a Stadia controller. Fee, can you do you need your glasses for this, or do you want to just do quick?
Great.
Okay.
Just give
Fee,
me
take it
1 second here, guys.
You got this.
Don't judge me. I'm gonna just make a
We're
slight...
judging.
We're making a slight tweak because your girl is blind and has astigmatism and she can't see shit. So
I just realized what you were doing.
You're just upping the size.
I'm just looking at the dot, and it's just getting
You're good,
bigger.
you're good.
We saw it in real time.
I was like, "What are you doing, Fee?"
Guys, let me be. The problem is holy moly, guys. Well, welcome to this quick Stadia corner. I'm going to make this very quick for you. Thank you so much. So we're going to be talking about an article that comes from inverse.com by Giovanni Colantonio, and it's all about the new Resident Evil news that came out this week, where Google and Capcom have announced that both Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village are coming to the cloud gaming platform. Stadia Pro subscribers will get the gold edition of Resident Evil 7 free at the start of April, but there is tantalizing incentive for fans who want to buy Village on the platform. Players who pre-order or purchase the game before May 21st will get the Stadia Premier Edition at no extra charge, which is what they did specifically for Cyberpunk as well earlier in December. So that means that $60, or for me, it's going to be $79.99. We'll get fans the full game, the Stadia controller, and the Chromecast Ultra. This is not only a great value, but it marks a major strategic shift on how Google plans to get more people onto Stadia. We actually saw a great growth in Stadia purchases of Cyberpunk 2077 when they offered this deal, because it came to a point where they actually sold out of that particular deal in both the United States and Canada. And so I'm really interested to see how that goes. I'm probably going to buy it on Stadia. I was a little bit, I was debating getting it on the computer, but since the Stadia option is there, I probably will go over to that option.
Hey,
Yeah,
trying.
It's a good deal.
They're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. When you think about it right now, in the landscape of where you can't get a new next-gen console like the Series X or the PS5, it's a great way for somebody who maybe doesn't either you can't get the consoles or you just don't have the money for the consoles right now, which is totally understandable in the landscape. It's an insane value. You pay $60, you're getting basically a controller and a Chromecast, which are about $100 by themselves.
Each.
It's crazy value. It's crazy value that Stadia is doing, and more that the months go by where you can't buy a new GPU, you can't buy a PS5, you can't buy an Xbox. The Stadia option's looking better and better.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe it'll get me to get Stadia at this point too. Maybe, who knows?
There you go.
I'd rather play them on PC, but like there are some stuff like obviously I can't run the games on max settings, so maybe that's probably going to be a better way for me to do it until I get an actual GPU, right? Since I'd rather play games on PC. My PS5 just sits here. I feel sad.
My PS5 is just the lotion stand.
Dude, oh my god. Nope.
My Series S is getting a lot of work.
Yeah. Slides getting the full work out of their Xbox, while our PS5, Frank and I's PS5 just sits there.
I mean, mine's a Fortnite machine, so
mine doesn't exist.
Remember when we gave Fee shit for playing Loop Hero on her 3070, and Mario's over here with a PS5 and Fortnite?
I thought we were gonna go 1 week without talking about Loop Hero, but here we are.
All right, so on that note, Fee, she has to get out of here. You want to say bye to everybody?
Absolutely. Bye, guys. I hope you have a great evening. And by evening, I mean whenever you're listening to the specific podcast, because I realize that this is pre-recorded and you might be listening to this in the morning. So I really hope that you're having a fantastic day. You can find me here. You can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at Zeranix, and you can see it right underneath there. I'm not going to spell it out for you. You know how to do it. And for the people who are listening, it is going to be in the actual description if you want to check out my stuff. You can also check me over at the Penultimate Conquest. I did a bunch of stuff over there this week, a lot of anime-related stuff in regards to the final season of Attack on Titan, where we did a double feature episode, and we talked about the spring 2021 season of all things anime, which is fantastic. And what you can do is, I'm just going to plug them because I'm just about to run over there. You can check out the PS Trophy Room, where they talk about all things PlayStation. By the players, for the players. Fantastic stuff, great people, we love it, we love to see it. I'm gonna go now, and I don't know why I'm pointing. Okay. Bye!
Replace her with a cool picture.
Bye!
Later, haters.